everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here with Friday Flip Through, my journal, my latest journal that I just completed, that I wanted to share with you and pull this last little thread off. So this journal is a fun kind of different journal that I've made, and I haven't even really given it a name yet, but I think it's also spoken for, so maybe that's okay. So this is a fabric cover that I made, and it's my freeform quilt kind of style that I do, and it has two different bound spines. One has 3 signatures and one has 4 signatures. The one set of signatures is 4.5 inches wide and the other is 5 inches wide, and the whole thing has lots of extra kind of extra like fabric to kind of wrap around the journal, so if it grows it has lots of room to do so. That's one of the fun things about fabric journals, is you really can, you know, go and go and go with them if you'd like to. So let's just jump in here. So the tie on this is a yellow gingham cotton. I really like the yellow and blue together on this, and I used a little scrap here of the same fabric back here. So I'll tell you a bit about the cover maybe first. So the cover is kind of a mishmash of different fun things. So you'll see I've stitched across it with embroidery floss. There is some fabric here that is these little paper cranes. That's some cotton. There's shashimirs on this beautiful blue, a doily, and some vintage upholstery fabric that is yellow floral. This is actually from a vintage Betsy Johnson dress that like will never fit me again, and I know that because I'm never going to be 14 again. So then this is more of that dress. This is more shashimir. So that's kind of the look at the quilt, right? The whole quilt. Now I'll sort of flip this back around and we can take a look, and you'll see, right, all that extra for wrapping is still there. So now we're going to open up this way. So I'm going to just start from the side that has nothing really. Well, something, but nothing. So the inside is also fabric. This is hand-dyed fabric that I dyed. I did some really fun techniques on this to get it to look the way I wanted to. And then over here I've created kind of a fun scrappy looking pocket that I printed with the bloodwood leaves that I collected this week. It's linen. And then inside the pocket I added one of my button cards. So that's a big journal card in there. Then we get on to the journal itself. So you'll see there are 2 spots where this has been bound. So there are 4 signatures here and 3 over here. So let's start with the first kind of larger journal. So we open this up with one of these doors, a Dutch door, and this is like a, you know, beautiful kind of Renaissance type image, and this is jelly printed. This is just a fun page from a book, Fly Page, that was very naturey. This is a commonplace book but has nature tones to it and a bit of artsiness to it. Some blue paper, a little bit of collage map with some botanicals. The other thing that I've used in this book is my monthly Patreon only journal together kit with the ephemera that I create from that. So this pocket is made from that, as well as some fun handmade paper. And I've used some pages from a children's book about birds that had really gorgeous illustrations. So this is like a hawk here. This is a shaker card with gold sequins, and this is one of my kind of mysterious beauties here from my kit. And on back is painted book page, which has become one of my favorite ways to back things. I really love acrylic paint on paper. Then this pocket is collaged, and inside we have this little sunflower journal card, and that's also from my kit. This doll is from my kit as well. So this doll is from an 1850s scrapbook that a lady made by cutting like people that were illustrated in magazines like The Delineator, and she would hand color them and piece them together. I'll be doing a paper doll collection of those eventually when I have time, but for now it is here. This is an embroidery pattern of flowers. And then we have a grungy paper clip up here holding this little kind of booklet with lace, another image from my kit of that same red-haired girl, and we have a couple fun pages. It's like a little notebook, and then this is just a fun digital page, kind of a collage page, and that just clips on up here with a rusty paper clip. And then we have this little fawn label here. Then we have some cabbage dyed ledger paper. This is a belly band from my kit. It's backed with eco-printed fabric, and it's on like a children's book page with some fun leaves and things to kind of go with the leaves here. And then this is a journal card that was made on like an old photography or photo album, and the people had written the names, and then there's a vintage image of some beautiful flowers. And this is from a children's book of this lady just kind of looking at her plant with so much hope for its bloom. And some nice steno paper. It's craft paper. This is just a digital page, fun colors, a little collage here of a blueprint and some spraying. This is a stationery page, and then this is a little Denison seal. I've been doing little seals in this book as well, the rub-on transfer ones. This is some green stone paper that's what's the word I'm looking for, that splotchy technique, not marbled but sort of like that, and then a green or gold doily. And if you're seeing stains on my hand, I was bloodwood dyeing today. I apologize. And then this is another of those seals. This one is like a Victorian calling card, like a rub-on seal. And a little collage with some botanicals here. And then this little pocket with this image. This was from my Moth Keeper kit, and I just thought it would be nice with that background. Those colors all kind of go nicely together. Some more craft steno paper. This is an image from a children's book, the story of Thumbelina, and there she is sleeping in a nut, and the frog is crawling in the window, and she's sitting here in a flower. And then we have more cabbage dyed ledger, another little collage here, botanicals, some little blue houses, and this is another image from my kit of a magnolia flower. This is the paper for embroidery. And then we have this hummingbird here. This little collage pocket, another bird, and then this is a journal card that I made from a vintage Dutch magazine called Fleur that had all these beautiful images on the back of like bugs and things. This is a little snippet of authentic vintage ledger paper. This little pocket here, it says keys for unknown doors, and we have one of my little glove box window tags inside there with this cute little mushroom girl. Another rub-on seal. This is an image of hops from my kit that's done in watercolor. I've stitched it on fabric and made a pocket on this children's book page with these little bears climbing a tree. This is also from my kit, and I've crinkled and weathered and dyed it. This is an invoice from March 11th of 1935. And then a little pocket that I made up here from tickets that I made, and I've got some pages from Bambi in this book, and I thought that the beautiful illustrations. This is from my kit, and it's an original Purity Flower recipe book where the lady who owned it had handwritten a bunch of recipes. This one has Mrs. Wiseacre's mincemeat and peanut butter bread. Some vintage steno paper, or sorry, craft steno paper, and this is from Thumbelina. A little belly band here made from a vintage children's book, and this is an image from my kit. It is one of my Sweet Pea paper dolls, the journal cards. And this is some fun, like pink linen paper. It's got really nice texture to it. This is a page from a book called The Lonely Squirrel, and it had the most beautiful illustrations. This is an envelope that I made from one of the pieces of ephemera in my kit. This is some 1905 French Canadian children's music. And this is Papillon to a Volage, and it has this beautiful blue, you know, they're all colored. I'm going to be doing a kit with them soon. And then this is another ribbon seal, and inside we have a little bit more of Bambi, a little journal card. I think this is one of my favorite images in that book, and it's backed with some painted book page. That just pops on in this envelope, and a rusty paper clip to keep it on there. Then a page from Thumbelina. A little mole in the mouse, or yeah, I guess mouse. And a belly band made from tickets here, and I also made a tab on the side here, and this is another page from Bambi, and this large tag is from my kit. This is watercolor flowers backed with packaging paper. And then I've collaged this little pocket here and added another one of those fun old paper dolls, and we have Bambi back here. And then this is a very surreal deer family. This is also from my kit, this little vintage family with deer. This is another fun page from Thumbelina. This is a collaged pocket. This octopus is from my kit, and then I've added some clock, and this is one of the collage freeform pockets that I made in a recent video. This is the back of a really exquisite cabinet card, and there's handmade paper on back for journaling. And then just a little bit of dyed, kind of a snippet of text from a book. And this is one of my pages from my Sweet Pea paper doll journaling kit, and some collage here with a little label. This is some of my dyed parchment paper. And then we have cabbage dyed ledger there, and then this is a journal card that I made with elements from my kit, and I backed it in packaging paper. And it just goes up there with that rusty paper clip. This is a fly page from a children's book with all these beautiful bugs, and another vintage family here with another deer head. And then another, that's from my kit, so is this large tag, also more watercolor plants. And I've stitched some fun fabrics up there. This is another embroidery sheet. And then this lovely blue paper, it was a fly page from a book, and some of my bloodroot dyed fabric, that's linen in the center there. More of the embroidery paper and the insects, and this is cabbage dyed ledger and hand dyed parchment. One of my little watercolor samplers there, and another of my Sweet Pea paper dolls, and another inked bit of book page with this little staircase. And then these elements I made this pocket out of are both from my kit, the scarecrow and the leaves. And I just did fun stitching around and around. And then I put this really lovely Josie Lewis card in here. I love her work. She's also got a YouTube channel if you're interested, and she's very funny. This is from Thumbelina. Over here I made a little collaged pocket with another of these vintage deer family, and then I have a little Tim Holtz label that says Sam of Cedar, and this says Creatures in the Forest, and a little bit of grungy book spine. That's on one of the pages from my kit, which is one of my Among the Wildflowers kind of edited illustrations. And this is a journal card that I made from Bambi, and it is backed with painted book page. And then this little cutout of deer, this little page, and some more dyed parchment and steno craft paper. This is a vintage playing card of this cute little girl on some fun orange fly page from a book, and that's some cabbage dyed paper there. This is a little journal card that I stitched. This is an element from my kit. It's collaged in the background with some of my watercolor in the back there. Cabbage dyed papers, a little pocket from Bambi, and a Thumbelina tag, and on the back it says part 2. It's backed with book page. This is a little collage with dyed papers of botanicals. These little eyes, this is from It Capilli Imaginarium on Etsy. This is one of my Sweet Pea paper doll journal cards, and just a botanical there. Some coffee dyed paper. A collage pocket up here with one of those rub-on seals. Those are vintage white rose rub-on seals. And then this is a little description from Release the Craft In. Cytherism, the sound of wind in the trees. And this is on a children's book page book. This is a little tabbed organizer card, and I just added some vintage dictionary page to it with those lovely animal illustrations. And then a frog mouth here and a little finch. This is from a children's bird book. And another of the Release the Craft In word definitions there. Wear Fistaria, to wander longingly through the forest in search of mystery. And some coffee dyed paper, and this little moon, I believe, is also from It Capilli Imaginarium. This is one of my Sweet Pea paper doll journal cards. This is another page from my Journal Together kit on Patreon. It is a little Victorian calling card. And a little botanical collage there. This is a collaged pocket that I made, and this is a tag that I made. These are both elements from my Journal Together kit, and it's on some vintage music paper and some other fun paper, and I just stitched some lace and fabric on top, and it's backed with painted book page. Some really fun and colorful cabbage dyed ledger, and there's more of that cabbage dyed paper. This is an orange page from a book. More steno and dyed parchment. This is elements from my kit, this pocket and these flowers that make this little flip down for a little secret spot to write. This is another element from my kit, and then inside here is an avocado dyed library card. This little bunny, just a collage there, and then we have this tip out with painted book page on back. And this is a poem by Thomas Hardy called Afterwards. When the present has latched its postern behind my tremulous stay, and the May month flaps its glad green leaves like wings, delicate filmed as new spun silk, will the neighbors say, he was a man who used to notice such things? If it be in the dusk, when, like an eyelid's soundless blink, the dewfall hawk comes crossing the shades to alight upon the wind-warped upland thorn, a gazer may think, to him this must have been a familiar sight. If I pass during some nocturnal blackness, mothy and warm, when the hedgehog travels furtively over the lawn, one may say he strove that such innocent creatures could come to no harm. But he could do little for them, and now he is gone. If, when hearing that I have been stilled at last, they stand at the door, watching the full-starred heavens that winter sees, will this thought rise on those who will meet my face no more? He was one who had an eye for such mysteries. And will any say, when my bell of quittance is heard in the gloom, and a crossing breeze cuts a pause in its outrollings, till they rise again, as they were a new bell's boom, he hears it not now, but used to notice such things? And I just thought that was such a poem to ponder on, like, you know, about life and death and nature and like how we see the world and how we're remembered. And it's just powerful, I think, more so than what my words can say. Just listen to his. And then I've added here some more of my bloodroot, dyeing. That's there. And then it just kind of breaks the color up, and I think it gives a nice kind of nature element. So then we're on to the smaller of the two journals. So this is 3 signatures, not necessarily a little journal at all, but this is me we're talking about. Let me just get centered here. So this is on some really pretty yellow paper that was from a book fly page. This image here of the flowers is mine from my kit. And I just did a little collage pocket that says Ode to a Nightingale, added some fabric. This tag is from my kit. I added some crochet and fabric up top. Then on this side, I had this little bird for a while now, so I just stuck it there as a tuck spot for this from my Journal Together kit of this cat and these flowers. So it's just like a little folded journaling space. And then the steno paper. This is another collaged pocket that I made with this image from my kit. It says, brushing the cobwebs with his lofty plume. Some grungy book spine back there, and some tickets that I made. Just fun little journaling spot, or you can even take them apart and glue them in different places. This is some jelly printing that I did. This is some fun old paper. These 2 pockets are created from elements from my kit, and then in the top one we have this little watercolor swatch that is an element from my kit, and so are the 2 other things. This little paper doll that was from those 1850s paper dolls, and this little Victorian calling card, and those I found they are 1860s, I believe, 1850s, 1860s, and they were found in Maryland. This is just a glued down acetate, and this little bird flying above, some writing paper. It's like vintage, you know, stationery paper. And then this is clipped onto this pretty page. We have someone reading a book here. And this is like kind of cut like a card. It was from the book cover of this beautiful art book. And I just made sort of a card out of it that you could journal on the inside. And it just clips on here with a rusted paper clip. Then this is some cabbage dyed ledger paper. This is a pocket that I made, so it has this flip up. You can write up here, and then you have more writing space on the pocket itself, a little collaging. And then in the pocket, we have another Purity flour recipe for coconut cake, and I like that she makes the note down here, no good. Sorry for the snip, I had to change batteries. So that journal card is backed with book page. And then this is a fun book from, or a page from a children's book with these lovely birds all kind of looking up. Oops, let's just do that. Here we go. Make sure I'm still centered here. Some shibori paper and some dyed, cabbage dyed ledger. This is a nice little poem called To Hold a Poem. I would take words as crisp and as white as our snow, as our birds, swift and sure in their flight, as clear and as cold as our ice, as strong as a jack pine, as young as a trillium and old as Laurentia's long, undulant line. Sweet smelling and bright as new rain, as hard and as smooth, as white as a brook pebble, cold and unmarred, to hold in a poem of words like water in colorless glass, the spirit of mountains like birds, of forests as pointed as grass, to hold in a verse as austere as the spirit of prairie and river, lonely, unbuyable, dear, the north as a deed and forever. Then we have this tree, this pretty tree, and some writing paper, a little bit of collaging, and a couple fun little fabric tags there, or tabs rather. This side I made a little collage pocket with one of the elements from my kit, which is this watercolor swatch on ledger paper. I have a whole kit that I just did called watercolor or vintage ledger watercolor swatches, so it's of that kind of ilk. And then this is a 1935 statement that came from my kit, and I kind of wrinkled it up and coffee stained it. That is some lovely old paper, and this is a jelly printed page. This is another element from my kit. It is from that same beautiful music paper, and it's just a gorgeous illustration of this boat and these stars, and it's backed with painted book page. And then this little blue line folder, I just love these vintage blue line folders, and I put some book page back there, and then this is an element from my kit of the salmon here, and it's backed with some fun handmade paper stitched around with some fabric up top. And then we have this bird who's a tuck spot, and she's holding on to this journal card, which is another element from my kit. And then we have another mysterious deer family here, and that's a little pocket. That's from my kit. So is the paper back here, as well as this card, this tag, this journal tag. It's all botanicals. And then just a little element from a vintage book that I've pasted on here and inked. This is a tip out from my kit. This little cup here is from my kit, and this is a vintage image from a garden book that I've added to photo album paper, a little journal card. Coffee dyed paper. This is that beautiful bird book again, and then another swatch of watercolors. This is a pocket made from this paper doll from my kit. I've added one of Priscilla's descriptions here. Abditory, a place into which you can disappear. And we have a poppy back there. And then another element from my kit, which is this journal card with stained paper on the back. Some cabbage dyed ledger. This is another freeform collage pocket that I made, and it has this little flip down. This and this are both elements from my kit. And I've added a little word snippet that says, glimmering and vast out in the tranquil bay, come to the window, sweet is the night air. And there is some iridescent wax there. And this is a postcard that I made, the authentic stamp there. This beautiful rainbow bear. And some hand-dyed paper, a fabric pocket, and this is a tag made from Thumbelina. And then one of my elements from my kit here, this is a Victorian greeting card. Center of the signature with just a fun old book page illustration. And then another fabric pocket and a collage tag that I made from botanicals and book page and stuff with jelly print in the background. Some more dyed paper. Cabbage dyed paper. This is a poem from Carl Sandburg called Children of the Wind. I won't read it. I'll leave that for whomever wants to adopt this journal. This is an element from my kit. It's another Victorian greeting card with a horse on it. And I made this tag with this rooster, and I just thought it was so perfect for here. Like, he could be like telling all of these birds to just hush up. And that's some coffee dyed paper. We have a vellum butterfly wing. This is another image from my kit. And the last signature, this is a vintage bird book page. And these are elements from my kit, both this wallaby here and this tip down with some secret writing space. And it's a pocket that I collaged. It has this artful image here. This is from a pottery magazine, and I just really love it, and I thought it would be fun in here. Another of the paper dolls from my kit. And because the person who expressed interest in this journal loves Edith Holden, I added some Edith Holden. And some fun brown paper with these holes. This was from a notebook. And then just some fun trees and a little watercolor swatch. Some graph paper. This is a belly band that I made. This is an element for my kit and a little stamp there. Some lace. And this says noted, and it's just a dyed index card on shibori paper. This is a vintage botanicals book page, and I made this little pocket here. And this is an element from my kit of these little dressed up owls. That's a journal card that pops in here. Some fun papers. This is an embroidery book pattern that's all just beautiful, beautiful things. And then this is just more of that fun kind of paper. And over here we have a tip up with some fun paper on that botanical page. And then shibori paper. We have a snail on this pocket. And then a little botanical tag. This is an image from my kit. Just some fun old cutlery illustrated there. More trees and brown paper. And more Edith Holden. More dyed paper and vintage bird book. And then a little thistle pocket here, and then we have this little notebook that I made. Has all sorts of fun little papers in it for writing on, and scrapbook papers and such. Not just text at the back. And then at the very, very back, I have signed it and added a little label as well as my seal with this little leafy fabric that's in the seal. And that, my friends, is the end of this journal. And then how we put it back together is we just fold this like this and then stand it up, and then you've got this together, and then it goes like this. You take your journal card and you pop it back in the pocket where it came from, and then just kind of give everything a little push, and then you wrap and you wrap again, and then you have everything put back together again. And then you just tie by wrapping a couple of times around, and then slip this under here, as so. And then I just like to sort of tie a little bow or a little knot, whatever you like, and then there you go. We got the journal put back together. I'll probably redo this bow because I can do it nicer than that. It's the pressures of filming, but you get the idea, and I hope you enjoyed this little flip through of this journal. I will be back again very soon with more of the same kind of stuff, more flip throughs and journal making. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I would love to have you here. Bye for now.